I'm drawing an apple right now. It's basically the basics of an apple. And the reason why I'm doing that is because my concentration is going to be focusing on finding oneself, or finding the lies that you're lying to yourself, or like finding your true self. And the reason why I'm making an apple one of my statement pieces in my concept is because I want to have the quote in there that you can almost taste the truth just like you can taste an apple. Having a red apple being almost a color statement as well, because majority of my pieces will be most likely done in blue, white, and black. I first gave like the prompt of look at what's going on in your life or the lives of people around you. I started looking at my friends' lives as well as mine, and I found that there was something about people who just couldn't really find who they truly were to themselves, and that they were almost lying to themselves. Well, actually a person said to me that it feels like I'm lying to myself and I don't know who I am yet, and that they're still going through who they are, who they're trying to find themselves to be in the process of life. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, as well as I thought that it would be a very big statement piece to everybody here, as well as I think it could turn out to be a really beautiful thing. I first got the prompt to look into my life as well as other people's lives around me, and to look at what's really going on within their lives and my life. I found that people were lying to themselves and that they really didn't know who they truly were, and they felt trapped or weighed down by their lies. And I felt like doing this type of concept because I think that it could turn out to be a really beautiful thing and as a really beautiful statement piece to the world. In the beginning, I wanted to do an apple sort of concept, but now I've changed it to butterflies, since butterflies have a universal symbolism of hope and change. And the main concept of my concentration is to kind of like show the progress of change into adulthood, although adulthood is scary. The piece that I'm working on right now is usually what I'm going to use for my backgrounds in most of my pieces, which is a watercolor background with highly pigmented watercolors. So far, this right now is what we're kind of using like as our basis for ideas. So it's like this is a watercolor showing what I'm going to do, and probably over here I'll add like probably like a butterfly and then the main figure that I want to use in a lot of my pieces. So my inspiration for the crown thing comes from this artist. I'm using a lot of her stuff, and basically what we're going to do is that we're going to implement my concentration, which is going to be showing the progression of maturity through crowns, so that, you know, in the beginning we'll see like a smaller crown, and then throughout we'll see like bigger crowns with like a lot more like nature stuff, if that makes sense. And then like butterflies, you know, like butterflies, they go from like the caterpillar to the chrysalis until they become a really beautiful butterfly. And so that's going to be implemented throughout everything. Right now, like for the AP section, since it does have to be like 2D, like flat and stuff like a drawing, what we're going to be doing is that on display we'll have the crown, you know, be like a crown, and we'll like have it folded up this way. But then when we're like taking pictures of it to send it off to the AP organization, we'll have it set out flat. When we send the photo off, or like the crown off specifically, we'll have it being laid flat instead of like having it like curved up like we will like a crown. So it would be wearable like on display, but then when we're sending off, it will be flat with like it all colored and stuff. So it'll be like a work of art shaped like a crown that's flat. Okay, so I did this piece over the summer, but it really fits in with what my concentration is. A lot of this is what I really like to do with the watercolor pigments, using the Dr. Martin pigments. They're really nice. And so I really love the effect that it gave off, especially in this corner, like right here. It's really beautiful. I'm really going for that in a lot more of my pieces. Right here is my type of style of like human like portraiture drawing. And I found this like, really beautiful. I made the piece for like women finding courage to be themselves and who they are. And so I made this image of like a beautiful woman, and she's like really powerful and strong looking. And she's surrounded by like kind of like this universal effect. And so through the progression of my pieces, what the crown is basically going to mean is that as we, in the beginning, there's going to be a smaller crown, which basically means like the first beginning of maturity and change in spirit. And then throughout the piece, it's going to get bigger and bigger, like with a lot more floral and like nature stuff, like flowers and birds and stuff. All of the people in like my art are either people who are in my neighborhood. I grew up in a really culturally diverse neighborhood. So I knew everyone who was from Chinese to Indian to African American, Caucasian, Hispanic. And so all these people really reflected on my life as friends and as neighbors, because it really taught me about like how big the world is and how we just really need to explore it. And then they all like contributed to this of like me trying to take life as it is and try to experience all that it is until I can't anymore, because there's so many beautiful cultures that I really just want to discover. And just the microcosm of my neighborhood really just made me want to go and see like the actual countries that they came from, like actually going to China and going to Indonesia and areas like that to really discover those cultures as they are. So that's the reason why I do a lot of drawings of my neighbors and friends and family who live near me and who have taught me those type of things of like, go and explore for yourself and see what life has to offer for you. This one is a really good friend of mine. He lives in Korea, but he visited because he's taking college classes at OSU. The reason why I became friends with him is because I personally am trying to learn the Korean language, because one day I just got bored and my mind was like, why not just learn a different language? So we met up and we became really good friends because he would teach me Korean, I would teach him English. And so we got along very well, and he basically said that with all that I want to do in life and what I want to go to college for, he said that learning another language is just another thing in life that would just get you that one step further into becoming the great person that you can be. Also, fun story with this one, since it's done in chalk pastel. This was kind of like out of the blue. I felt really inspired just to do it because I don't know, I had a moment and my emotions were just spill on the page about this person. That's a lot of what happens in AP art too, is like when you're doing stuff like that as an artist, is that you just kind of sit there one day and you're like, I just want to paint, or I just want to draw. And then stuff like this happens, or just really beautiful pieces that you just didn't expect from yourself that aren't forced by a due date. So before, like 2 years before, we were allowed to paint the rooms, but that became a big no-no. So all of us, what we do right now, we put up posters and we put up like different canvases of stuff that we get like a lot of like our inspiration from. And so some of us will put up plants because it makes us happy, and some of us will put up mirrors, and some of us will put up all different types of stuff from our houses that really show off who we are as a person rather than just having a blank room. And I think you really see that in all the artists, because if you look into like see each person's corner of the room, it's completely different from everyone else's, because we all have this different personality but we still manage to coexist with each other. I guess you can say as humans you need to have like your own individuality rather than just be like, I don't want to sit in this white room, which is also another reason why you should take AP art, because you get your own individuality rather than sticking to dress code. As we go to a private school, and that because it's a predominantly white school, I'd like other people to really think outside of what they are used to, and to really think of like the other countries and like worlds around them that really they could draw life experiences from, and like information from that's not just in Worthington Christian. So seeing other people from different races, a lot of my pieces are from Asian to Black, and then I think there's one white, but all of them are culturally different. Like it's a diverse group of like portraits that I've done. if you really work up the courage to go out of your comfort zone of what you know, and to go, as you said, strike up a conversation and really understand the people around you are just like you. They're humans like you, but they just have different cultures. You can learn from them and make good friends from them. And that's what I want other people in the school to really learn about through my art, is that there are different people they look different from you, but they're not just aliens that you don't really understand anything about them.